So should we just jump into the big one? And I think it is funny. I think that the two of us are here to talk about this. Um,
The elephant in the
just
room.
the elephant in the room. Yeah, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. He is here to stay in Buffalo. Him and the Buffalo Sabres settled before his arbitration hearing, which was set for July 29th. So it actually would have been yesterday. I think it was the 29th. In any case, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen signs a 5-year extension that carries an AAV of $4.75 million per season. For initial thoughts, right off the bat.
Well, my initial thoughts are I like the money. I'm glad we avoided arbitration. The years, that's going to be more of a discussion, but if we had to adjust the years to get to the money we got, I'm okay with it. I'm completely okay with the contract.
I was surprised they went 5 years. I'm really not gonna lie. I am very surprised they went 5 years with the deal.
Do you think he makes it to the end of those 5 years?
Not a chance.
Neither do I.
Absolutely not.
Mm-mm.
If you get into a little bit of the finer details of the contract, he gets a 5-team no trade list. I think the last 3 seasons, or even then, it's the last
Three or
two.
two. Yeah.
Um, he's look. We get the comparisons have been drawn to what the Sabres might be trying to establish. Should the tandem be Luukkonen and Devin Levi in this upcoming season, that it very much parallels what the Boston Bruins did with Linus Allmark and Jeremy Swayman. And as I totally see the model for that, and I could see that really working out for them for next year. We just saw it came to an end, and it wasn't even really deserving. Like Allmark had another very good season, and Swayman was fantastic himself, but inevitably they had to choose between the two, and they don't even have like huge contracts over there. Like yes, the Pastrnak contract kicked in, and McAvoy's been carrying a big cap hit, but that's a team with not a lot of big money contracts. I mean, they did sign Hampus Lindholm to a long-term extension last year, and then Elias Lindholm was their big ticket in free agency. But inevitably, they had to cut ties with Allmark eventually. So, I would be lying if I said I thought Luukkonen finishes that contract in Buffalo, and I think even he knows with that no trade list kicking in the latter few years of the deal. But hey, anything can happen. Like Devin Levi is not a finished product whatsoever. And Luukkonen has proven more in the NHL. And I think if you were to ask right now, like, who do you think is gonna do more in the NHL? I think most importantly, I think the Sabres would tell you, we believe in Devin Levi, that he's the guy. And I think that's the bigger reason as to why I don't think Luukkonen finishes that deal in Buffalo. I think they're just Devin Levi's their guy, and they're going to give him all the opportunity in the world. And honestly, would it entirely surprise you if he was the more defined 1A by the end of the season? Not that it's going to happen, but would it surprise you in that scenario?
No, I don't think it would surprise me at all. I think it would be kind of an annoyance knowing that you just paid your quote unquote 1B a contract like that. So
But he's
I'm
the
cool
one
with
A
the
right
concept.
now. He's the 1A right
Right.
now.
I thought you were
That's what.
talking about Devin Levi would have the 1A spot at the end.
Well, yeah, but like, yeah, hypothetically, like, would you be surprised if he took that by the end? Like, yeah, it wouldn't look great, I guess, but at the same time, like, this is not an expensive deal, and I think that is part of the reason they went 5 years. I was surprised they got the number under $5 million, like 4.75 million. If Luukkonen even if he regresses a bit this season, which it's probably fair to expect, it's good. It's a good deal. It's a good deal, and I saw this floating around. He's the 21st highest paid goaltender in hockey right now. Like
Yeah.
21st for
It's,
Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
it's not a boat anchor of a contract, which we like. Obviously the term, we don't know if he's going to finish it out here or not. I don't expect him to, but it's a team friendly deal and I'm glad we avoided all the arbitration nonsense. Um, and there are way worse goalie contracts out there. We've seen them being handed out. along with all the other free agent contracts that have been handed out that have just been insane, you know? I mean, a goalie market is different than someone like a center, but still.
Yeah, there's kind of two extremes. I mean, we saw Jack Campbell. The Oilers just cut all ties. They bought him out. They kind of rinsed their hands that way. But the Senators, they were able to trade Jonas Korpisalo after an atrocious season, which came with salary retention and whatnot. But it's still a movable deal.
Oh yeah.
Should he absolutely crater and return to like his 2023 form. But obviously in the end, you hope that doesn't happen, and you don't want to root against him because at the end of the day, like, hey, this is their starting goalie going into next season, and it's deservedly so. And it's cool that Luukkonen got the big deal. It's been a long road to get to this point, and it's had a lot of bumps, and the
Oh
organization
yeah.
has never been fully set behind him, and neither has the fan base, ourselves included. But it's cool to finally see him get his flowers, get his moments, just get his deal that's going to set him up for long term stability in life.
A lot of ups and downs, a lot of hip surgeries, a lot of, bad seasons in the AHL and then good seasons and then bad NHL seasons. Just an absolute roller coaster of a ride from the last, wow, he's been in this organization 7 years now, I think. 2017.
2017. Yep.
So yeah, it's been a minute, but it's culmination of a lot of hard work for him. And listen, I've been one of his biggest haters, but he proved the haters wrong for now. We'll see how next season plays
There's
out.
always there's always that little asterisk thrown in at the end there.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, goalies, they're
Goalies are
I'm not
insane.
even gonna say the line, but they
Yeah.
are a turbulent and volatile entity. And I think it was Jay Fresh. He put it perfect. He was like, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen in 2023 was bad, and in 2024 he was good. He is a goaltender. Like
Yeah.
that's how these things work.
Normal path.
Hmm.
Completely normal. You just got to hope that this is a good problem to have, especially if we have Devin Levi. It's like hopefully if one's not performing well, the other one steps in for a while and vice versa. This is a good issue to have.
How do you think this shapes the landscape for Levi's next deal, which comes at the end of next season? Do you think they? I mean, I guess a lot of it probably does depend on how he performs. But if you were to guess, how does his next contract negotiation go? How does this deal affect next summer?
Well, knowing that he's got a guy in front of him who just got signed, I'm gonna assume it's gonna be like a short-term bridge deal almost, maybe like 2 seasons. That this one might go to arbitration, depending on how he performs. If he performs really well, this could be a tough next off season if Kevin Adams is here, just trying to deal with the goalie situation. Um, I would say more of like a bridge deal, medium amount, maybe around a little under what UPL is making, and then they'll revisit it again. And then when it comes to, because I think he'd be a UFA at that point, um, it'd be a conversation of, look, I've in it, let's say they can go one of two ways. I've been performing extremely well. I want to be the number one goalie. They might have to ship UPL out, or it stays the same and UPL, performs, he doesn't, and then he's gone. There's so many different ways this thing can go, and there's so many different predictors. But if I was just gonna say what contract, I would say it'd be a bridge deal.
On the bright side, I don't believe that Levi would be eligible for arbitration.
Oh, he wouldn't
Um,
be. He hasn't
so
played enough games.
I think it's just looking it up right now. If a player signed between the ages of 18 to 20, which Levi did, and has 4 years of professional experience, they are eligible for arbitration. So
Got it.
don't don't believe he qualifies. So yeah, it's going to be interesting how if they head into next summer, and Luukkonen is still clearly like ahead of him. What they try to do, I think they do probably go bridge, but then if Levi kind of takes a step and the hierarchy shifts, I'm going to be looking at what Jeremy Swayman is about to sign
Hmm.
with Boston, and I would look at maybe even the Sorokin deal. I would hope it doesn't go as far as the Shesterkin deal, which is rumored to be as high as like $12 million.
The
Um,
Bobrovsky deal.
yeah, but that's all like UFA years bought up and stuff. This would be his first contract post ELC.
Mm.
Um, So I would be looking. I think Swayman is like the big comparable. Whatever he gets here, especially if it goes long term, um, I wouldn't be surprised if that affects a Devin Levi negotiation. Should he really shift into high gear next season? But if he doesn't, yeah, I'm not big on long term goalie contracts. I feel like I've stated that before. Like if this isn't like bridging, like if they were to bridge like a Jack Quinn or a JJ Paterka, like I think that's a very different scenario. Goalies are just so unpredictable. I don't hate short term deals. As long as Levi doesn't get walked to free agency, I don't want to. I want to avoid that type of situation.
Hmm.
So yeah, getting back to Luukkonen for a little bit, something I thought was interesting to bring up, based off evolving hockey's contract projections. His most likely contract, they had him at 4 years at $5.25 million, and then if you were to go off their projections for a 5 year deal, they had him at 5 years, $5.5 million per season. So Adams is able to get Luukkonen down to a pretty respectable number compared to maybe what he could have gotten. And hey, the Sabres continue to save money. Don't you just love to see that?
Oh man,
You
we're gonna
missed the
get into
cap.
this.
You missed the internal cap
I
debate last
did.
week.
That's something man.
We can't get into it here because it would just be the two of us agreeing for 20 minutes.
No, I know. I listening to the other episode. It was funny to hear your and JP's back and forth about how the money is being spent and what the organization, deems as necessary spending and whether there's an internal cap or not. Me personally, I do think there's an internal cap going on until I'm proven wrong.